Right, we're going to be looking at security precautions today, specifically threats that a computer system might have in the form of tracking cookies, or it could be that somebody launches an attack on you, a DOS attack, and there's only a little bit about tracking cookies, but there's quite a lot about DOS attacks, so I'll just get into it. So you only really need to know about tracking cookies, but before you jump to that, I think you need to know what, you might already know this, but you need to know what a cookie is in a computing context that is not a regular cookie. And I just wanted to clear up some misconceptions and just classify the three main types of cookies. So before I'm going to go through a few different types, you only need to know the last one. This is just so you don't get them all confused, because they are different. So the first one, permanent cookies, probably the most familiar you might be of this one. So it remembers your username and your password. So this is if you go onto a website and it says, do you want to remember? That's a permanent cookie, right? A session cookie is, easiest way to think about it is if you're on, say, Amazon or something, and you add something to your shopping basket, whenever you click on a different button, you're moving to different web pages. You're on the same website, but you're on a different web page, and your shopping basket will still say one or two items or whatever. What is doing that is a session cookie, and the session cookie just remembers as you move between the different pages. It's also when you're signing up for a website, so like you type in your first name, when the next page is your bank details, and that all of that is remembered by a session cookie, and it actually struggles to go backwards when you're signing up. So that's why if you say you type in your first name in the first page, and then and your address and all that, and on the second page it's your, I don't know, your bank details, your shipping details. If you try and go back, it'll freak out. That's one of the downsides of session cookies. So permanent cookies, usernames and passwords. Session cookies are, it tracks changes. Now, the important one as far as higher computing is concerned is tracking cookies. So normally they're used by third-party companies to display ads. So this is when you go to any website, and we'll stick with the Amazon example. If you go on Amazon and you go to a different website, then suddenly you'll see ads for whatever you were searching on Amazon. So as long as you've accepted cookies, that's what it's going to do. It's going to make ads display on your web browser. However, the bit we're interested in is that there's actually a security risk with this, in that it can be used to track usernames and passwords. Now notice that permanent cookies are responsible for keeping usernames and passwords. That is their job. That's why I wanted to clear this up. But tracking cookies is the one that somehow there's a way that hackers are able to see usernames and passwords, and it's not the tracking cookies' intention. They're just made for ads. So again, these are the only security risk. So this is a bit of a bigger category. So DOS attacks, or a denial of service attack. It's when you put so much pressure on a computer system that can't function as normal. Normal is done over the internet, and it's just sending a bunch of requests to somebody. There's two different kind of scales. Regular DOS attack is performed by one computer. Normally it's not very effective. I guess, like, if there's ways, I'll get to that in a bit, that you could do it to your mate, I guess, and then break their computer so they're unable to connect to the internet. But when you hear about DOS attacks, normally it's a DDoS or distributed DOS attack, which means it's performed by multiple computers on something called a botnet. So a botnet will infect a bunch of computers, sometimes willingly, sometimes they can just be given, like a bit like a virus. It's like a piece of malware, and a botnet it'll kind of take all that power of multiple computers, and it will flood servers with fake requests, and each of those computers it gets taken control of is called a zombie. So a botnet of zombies. The two main categories of DOS, two main categories of DDoS is the bandwidth consumption. The idea behind that is you just send it a bunch of web pages, or you ask for a bunch of web page messages back from it, and you just increase the network traffic. So if it was like somebody specific's computer you want to send to, you get them to, like, you send a bunch of web pages to them. Or if you want to say, you're not going to break Google because it's too big, but if you want to break a small company, same way, if anybody goes onto a small website, you can crash it if too many people go on it. So this is kind of like faking it, where you make it so thousands, if not tens of thousands or more computers all ask for data from that website all at once, and the website will crash because you're causing network traffic to increase. So the result is that it's unable to send or receive data. And we'll get to the reasons why you would do this in a little bit. So the other one is resource starvation, and this one's a little bit more different, where they all send requests to the processors of, I'm assuming, a supercomputer or just whatever computers they use, and it's called a recurring request, and then it might say, it'll just keep asking it'll just keep asking, like if you're in Amazon, so I've mentioned it here, it'll keep asking to add items to your basket continuously until you either fill up the memory, the RAM, or the hard drives, or the processor, and you just make it unable to send or receive data. Before we move on, I just want to talk about two things just so everybody's on the same page, and that is IP addresses. So if you don't know, an IP address is an internet protocol address. A protocol is a set of rules. So this is the rules that everybody on the internet follows, and that's the rule for transmitting data. And it's kind of like, you've got a letter, you've got a return address, just in case your letter gets lost, it comes back to your house. IP addresses have that as well, so whenever you send data to someone, your IP address is normally attached to that data. And it'll be wherever it came from, so your laptop, your computer, your phone, whatever, will have its own IP address. And now this, although it's unique, it's actually determined by location. So if you have your laptop in your house and you take it to someone else's house, then you will have a different IP address because you've had to connect to their Wi-Fi or whatever. Same with phones. If you move about a lot, after you move a certain distance, your IP address will change. So although each device has its own IP address, as you move about, it does change. That's the first thing we need to get across, is IP addresses, before we move on. Next one is a bit shorter, DNS. Stands for domain name server. It's a bit like a phone book, and it has all the IP addresses of, like, say, Google HQ or Amazon HQ or whatever, and it kind of matches it up. And so whenever you look up Amazon in your browser, you go the DNS, you'll make a request to a domain name server, and it will find the IP address, and then they'll communicate. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a later lesson. So the reason we're talking about that was the targets. So when a DOS attack is made, they might target the DNS, so the phone book, if you will, and what they do is there's a way that they can, like, mask the data, so it looks like it's coming from somewhere where it's not. So say you have someone that you hate, right? This would be the same as you infect 1,000 computers, make a botnet for a DOS attack, and it's gonna, sorry, I'm getting confused with the next one. I always get these two confused. So this is the one where if you've got someone you hate, that you pick a target, their house, their laptop, whatever, and then you make a bunch of requests to servers, and you change the return address, you change the IP address to look like it came from you. And what happens there is all these websites will reply to the computer at the exact same time, thousands of times. And basically your bandwidth is used up because you've just received thousands of web pages you didn't intend on receiving. This is a little bit different, and sorry, I got a bit confused. I'm not going to edit this video, it takes too long, so it's going to go over it. This one is where it goes to the DNS and it finds the IP address and then it floods that website. So it floods the company of what you're looking at. And then it tries to break the companies that runs the website's system down instead by just using all the bandwidth up, and then they can't get to their proper consumers or whatever. What are the costs of this? So a result of this is that your system's going to be slowed down or stopped entirely, and then you're going to cause disruption. So people are going to go buy from other companies if they get fed up, and that's kind of the goal. Like, maybe you want them to join your company, maybe you're just disgruntled or whatever. The result is the company's going to lose money because people can't access the website. As I just said, main effect is loss of money. They also need to do repairs. Now this costs money because you either have to hire someone to be paid to repair it, or you have someone in-house just sitting about all day to repair a system. Now you have to obviously pay their wages. So this could be money if that's not their normal job, you're going to lose money there because they're going to be distracted from their normal job. Or you have to pay a tech repair guy just to sit about and then do it there. So you're going to lose money either way for repairs. Last slide, the reasons why you would do it. Obvious one is financial reasons, to try and make money from it somehow, be that you get them to use your website, or you could even take their website hostage and demand payment, that you only stop it then. Political reasons, so some people do like take down government websites, and that is like kind of a political movement. Or it might just be personal. You get a disgruntled employee, somebody has been fired, and then you can just take it down. I haven't tried it myself, but it's relatively easy to do. There's a thing called low orbit ion cannon, or LOIC, and then you just sign up for it, and basically it's a bunch of people that you just take turns taking down the website that you want to, or the IP address that you want to. So again, if you go download LOIC, you could that's your homework, figure out how to take down your friends' computers. Right, that's everything from me. Right, thank you, bye.